Girl, you know. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you boys and girls today is my track review for Meek Mill's response to Drake, I Wanna Know. Now, I already reviewed Drake's two diss tracks, Charged Up and Back to Back, so to see what I thought about those two tracks, just check out my channel and watch the videos. But as for this Meek track, I'm not even lying to you. When I was listening to this last night, I thought it was a troll job and just something that somebody copied and pasted together to make fun of Meek Mill. But it turns out this is the actual true response. And I'm not even trying to sound like a hater, because even though I'm not the biggest Meek Mill fan, I wanted him to snap on his diss, because then we'd maybe get a good rap beef. But he couldn't even do that, and this was very, very underwhelming. It all starts off with Meek talking some trash about A.R.A.B., Daylight, and Drake, and then we hear a very familiar gong, followed up by a beat that is sampled from Undertaker's theme music. And that shit just had me like, oh yes! That beat, produced by Jalil Beats, is the highlight of this track if you ask me, because Meek really didn't bring too many crazy lines here. And I also didn't like how disjointed this song was, because there's two interludes on it. One from the Sonny Carson movie, and another one from Diddy. And they both don't really serve any purpose other than ruining the momentum of what is supposed to be a great diss track. And I also gotta add right quick that there is a beat switch up for the third verse, and that was produced by Swizz Beatz, and I thought it was cool, but nothing to write home about really. Now after the first couple of bars, the song switches over to Quentin Miller's reference track for Know Yourself. And I think by now everybody already knows how they feel about his involvement with Drake's music, because this response came out days after Meek started popping off about all of that. So it's not like we got a shocking reveal here, and after taking all that time to finally respond, I thought Meek was going to come with something much harder than this song. He brings up how Diddy slapped him back in 2014, and he talks a little bit about Drake's beef with Chris Brown. But one line that didn't fully make sense to me is when Meek said that Drake once wore a Dream Chasers chain in order to get respect. Because as far as I'm concerned, how exactly would that work? I don't think Drake needs a Dream Chasers cosign or to rock one of those chains in order to get respect. At least as far as the rap game goes, because Drake is levels above Meek Mill. But I guess maybe this was talking about some street shit because Meek Mill has more street cred, but personally, I don't really give a shit about that. Drake's music is just way better. And I'm not even a Drake dick rider, I just think that's a fact. Or, I know, music is all opinion, but I think a lot of people would agree. Meek just really doesn't say too much on this track that's hard-hitting, unless you like it when he says that he's the type of nigga to tie your mother up, fuck your sister in the ass, and put a hit out on your brother. He also calls Drake a dork, a buttercup, and a Milli Vanilli ass nigga. And for you youngins out there who don't get that reference, Milli Vanilli was a singing duo back in the late 80s and early 90s, and they got exposed for being fraudulent. They were actually performing a show and they were lip syncing, and then the tape or CD started skipping. And shit got really awkward. One of them ended up committing suicide, and it was just a mess. It's actually a really interesting story to look into, though, if you're not familiar with it. There's a couple of documentaries out there. Meek accuses Drake of using his money to look real as well. But even Meek himself boasts on this track, as he says that he is a platinum chick, rollie, and whip. And he even takes a cheap jab at Safari when he tells him that you didn't even get your chick back yet. But really, a lot of the bars on this track are just like one of Meek Mill's most recent tweets. Z. And not the good type of Z, like Dragon Ball Z, but the bad type of Z, like The most talked about thing on this track, though, is when Meek Mill gets on the outro and says that Drake was once pissed on in the theater by one of T.I.'s friends. Which, I get why that would be funny, because someone getting pissed on, but I got some questions for the guy that was doing the pissing. Whether you're drunk or not, peeing on somebody just isn't cool, man. What are you doing? Don't piss on people. But at the end of the day, I have this track at a 2 out of 5, and I think it was just extremely disappointing, especially after waiting all this time and having it build up to this point. The song was all over the place, Meek didn't have a lot of crazy ass lines, and the thing that I liked best about this was the Undertaker sample, but that can only count for so much. And if you want to count this track, as well as Drake's 2 diss tracks, I would say that Drake is up 3-0 in this beef. But that's just what I thought about this track. Hit me up in the comment section and let me know what you think. And make sure you do all that other good YouTube and social media stuff, where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.